Hello, and welcome to the gojenn videocast podcast. It's been a couple weeks. It's February now. I have no idea the date. 4th, 5th, Saturday is what it is. I know that much. How have you all been doing? I hope you've been doing well. I don't think our country's doing so well. Maybe you disagree. That's fine. I don't want to be political, but I just hope that things will be looking up quite quickly. So anyway, again, the gojenn videocast podcast. I am here on YouTube as I think it's gojenn C, GOJENNC. And I'm on Ravelry and Instagram as gojenn, 2 N's. And I'm wearing my bistitchual sweatshirt today. I'm bistitchual. I knit and I crochet. Of course, I crochet much better than I knit, but we're not judgy. We're not wearing our judgy pants today. So I'm bistitchual. We'll just go with that, okay? I find the winter a little difficult to get through sometimes. I don't believe I have full-blown seasonal affective disorder where without sunlight you get really depressed, but I do think it's just harder to get through winter days than it is to get through warm, sunny days with lots of sun. So I hope you all are taking extra care of yourself to get through the winter as well. I really don't have that much extra to show you from the last time we visited. Although I have been working on my sweater like mad. My goal for January was to finish the body of my sweater. And I have. Yay me! I have this much yarn left on the skein I was working on, so that's a good thing. I've really accomplished a lot. And at the end of the video, whichever way the end is, I'll post still photos. So if you don't feel like you get a good look at it right now, there will be photos. I think it was, I'm not sure, 6 or 8 rows of 2x2 ribbing at the bottom, and it's finished. So this is the body. It looks teeny. I wanted my husband to hold it up for me to take a picture outside in the sunlight, and he held it up and I was kind of like, ugh, is that going to fit me? If it doesn't fit me, it'll fit my mom. She's already claimed it and said it's exactly her size. But I've tried to make it my size. But we'll see. This little stitch marker, Progress Keeper, that's where I was when I picked this sweater up again. So I knit this much in the month of January. And I was really pleased. I want to finish this by the end of March, and so my goal was finish the body January, finish a sleeve in February, and finish a sleeve in March, along with all other finishing things. I think I have to go around the neck a couple times and do something, because that's just my cast on stitches. I'm trying to take the stitch marker off, and it does not want to cut. It came off. There it is. There it is. But whoops, sorry. They live back there. So I have taken that stitch marker out, and that is my sweater. The sweater's where I cast on. This is a seamless sweater, so I cast on here. Made very bad raglan increases. Oh, they're so horrible. They're really horrible. They get better once I kind of caught on to what I was supposed to be doing, because you've got your left leaning increases and your right. And I was, oh, it was horrible. But And the sweater, if you get up close to it and you look at it, you'll see so many little boo-boo fixes near the top, but very many less near the bottom. I think last podcast I said something about the way I make my little holes is by not completely finishing the knit stitch. Well, I realized that if I am aware, if I am paying attention and watching what I'm doing, which I'm supposed to be, I don't always do it, but I'm supposed to be, then I realized I saw the extra little piece of yarn that told me, oops, you've made one of those holes, and I was able to correct it. And I started to get on the phone and try to individually call everybody up that watched the podcast and say, look, I found it. You were so proud of me, right? I was really proud of me. So this is the right arm over here. This is the right sleeve, and these stitches are just on some waste yarn waiting to be worked with. Next time, should I ever need to do this, I'll use a different color waste yarn. I didn't know I was supposed to do that, so I had kind of a tough time picking up my stitches and knitting. This is a lumpy, bumpy part, and I don't know, I notice it, I know exactly where it is, but that's how much I have knit since the 1st of February, because that's when I started the arm. I like it a lot better because obviously it's way fewer stitches, and I managed to go all the way around more quickly. I don't know, I mean, I know that's where I am and that's what I'm doing, so it's just a matter of continuing. And that's the underarm. And no, it is by far not perfect, but I will wear this sweater proudly. I will not wear it to a knit event proudly because people there will be going, you messed up a lot. But if I just wear it out and if I say, well, you know, I knit this sweater myself with these hands. You did? Because non-yarny people are much easier to impress. So keep that in mind. So this is my sweater, and I do expect to have this sleeve finished completely by the end of March. I got to get on it, but I had kind of a rough week this week, so, but that is my goal, nevertheless. Oh, and you know, I showed you how much yarn I had left. This is the next skein. Yeah. And this Malabrigo is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wine-colored yarn. The color on the name tag is Cerisa. And this is Rostita, Malabrigo Rostita, and I think that's that just means it's like their sport or DK weight yarn. So I'm going to have to ball this yarn up without making a mess. This yarn sticks to itself, which is good for the sweater, but not so good for trying to wind the yarn into a ball from the skein. That's kind of a daunting task, but I mean, I'll do it. I don't have a choice. Unless one of you guys want to come and do this for me. I mean, I'm sure. Just the opportunity to play with this luscious Malabrigo. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, so no takers. I didn't really expect there would be. So my big project there is my sweater, and I want to finish that by the end of March. I want a sweater by, I want a sleeve by the end of January. My other project, and of course these are my projects for my Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup, my owl that I'm doing. You knew I already had the first sock finished. Yay. And I have turned the heel and I'm working on the foot on sock number 2. I've switched to 9-inch circulars. I don't mind them. For the straightaways, you go around, it seems, which is all probably just in your mind, but it seems you go around more quickly because you're not fiddling. When you're working with 4 double-pointed needles, you get to the end of the needle. Well, that's when you slide all your stitches and you move and you fuss and you get it right and you go again to the next needle and you knit, 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 and then you're at the end, so you slide and you, which you have to slide your stitches around on this as well. But I don't know. I think it's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I don't find that either one is particularly better. I'm more accustomed to the DPNs, so that may be the reason that I feel more comfortable with the DPNs, but this is the same. You can tell I'm just now starting on a navy blue stripe, and I have the navy blue and the lighter blue and then the yellow stripe before I start to decrease for the toe, because you can see on this one, okay, I'm on the navy stripe, okay, and they're pretty much lining up, not perfectly, but pretty much. So I'm on the navy stripe, and then I've got the light blue, and the yellow is where I'll start the toe shaping. So I'm very close to the end on that. So I haven't worked on it a whole lot because it is by far more difficult to work on the sweater. It's not as easy to throw in my tote bag and carry back and forth to work, because that's where I do the most of my, well, you know, my lunchtime crafting. So hold on, please, and I'm going to try to get some other things together to talk about. So I'll be right back. Okay, I didn't have any extra magnificent projects to show you, but I do want to get a couple things and talk to you. That was my deal. I am trying to be more thrifty and more frugal in 2017. We did, my husband and I did a no-spend January, and that was pretty, we were off to a pretty rocky start because we didn't really plan ahead for a no-spend January, and so that meant that we, by the, you know, week that wasn't the payday week, we were in trouble. But we're hopefully going to do better here in February. And so that means I've cut myself off on yarn purchases, and which I mainly tend to craft out of my stash anyway. I have made an agreement with myself not to buy any more yarn or anything like that unless it's for a specific project. And the next several projects that I have lined up, I have the yarn in my stash for. So, my last purchase, which this was ordered on December 31st, without me realizing I was going to try to do the no spend. This is a Fat Squirrel Fibers bag, and this is her, it was a pre-order fabric, and this is her national parks. And I had to have it. Which this is a little bit, I think this is a little bit bigger than her sock size. Yeah, because I have my socks in the sock size bag. This is a little bit bigger, and it still smells so good because she puts little sachets of lavender in there. It smells so good. But anyway, each of these little pictures is one of the national parks, and I intend on seeing every single one of them. In our travels. I'm looking forward to it. I have been to Shenandoah National Park, which is in the state where I live in Virginia. So that's one. And I have lots more. I haven't been west of the Mississippi in my life yet. And so I'm looking forward to all of those. So, and to seeing some more of the others that the Everglades National Park, I believe it was, well, Acadia, I think is in Maine. But anyway, these are all the national parks. And I knew that this would be a good bag to have, whether in our camper, when we're traveling, to celebrate travel, and America's national parks. So I'll either use it for something special in the camper or something special in my crafting life. What I'm doing financially wise, I'm trying to follow Dave Ramsey's Complete Guide to Money and his Financial Peace University. I'd like to be completely out of debt, and everything like that when we go on the road. I have a house mortgage, and I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that. I hadn't gotten to that in here, which when we get ready to travel, I suppose I'll sell this house. So, and we'll just take off and hopefully be debt free. But that's something that he really stresses. This is from I would say, a more Christian point of view, which, if that bothers you, and sometimes things like that can bother me. But so far, I mean, it's just annoying for him to tell me, no, you can't have everything you want. So that's what I'm trying to do, is the Dave Ramsey Complete Guide to Money. And I'll let you know how it goes. I hope I don't fall by the wayside. I really can't. I can't afford to. Let's see, book-wise, what I've been reading. The last time I think I talked to you guys, I was reading, I had read The Passage by Justin Cronin, Cronin. And then I was reading The Passage. No, Jennifer. The first one was The Passage. The second one was The 12. And I finished that. And now I'm listening to the audiobook, The City of Mirrors. It really works for me to listen to audiobooks because I am allowed to listen on earbuds at work. So unless I'm doing something that requires intense concentration, I generally try to listen. You know, if I'm trying to earjack into a conversation across the wall, I can't do it. But I usually tell people, just speak up. I can't hear what you're saying. And then if you're talking about me in front of my back, hurry up. Tell me what it is. I've also started a podcast improvement course that was on YouTube. And the first assignment was to define your purpose. And I came up with 3 E's. My grandson's his first name starts with an E. So it's like, okay, I'll be like him. And I would like to encourage, educate, and entertain. And I'm not saying I want, you know, this isn't a stand-up comedy or anything, but if I just sat here and was real boring, which you may think I am anyway, but you wouldn't keep coming back if you did, would you? I hope not. So anyway, I want to entertain. I want to educate. Tell you how those 9-inch needles circs are doing for me. Is there something you want to know? I will explain as much as I know about it. I know much more about crochet than I do knitting. So, but anyway, I would like to educate, encourage. I want to encourage you in anything there is that you think you might want to do. I'm going to be doing some yarn dyeing in the, probably not until I finish my sweater, because I want to see how that yarn holds out for that. But then after the sweater's finished, I have several plans for things I want to do, and one of those is dyeing some yarn. So I want to educate, encourage, and entertain. So call me on it. If you see me falling down and not doing something that I should be doing, call me out. Just leave a comment or punch me or whatever. You know, let me know. Hey, you're not staying to your purpose. Okay? Besides reading, I have been kind of binging on Netflix sometimes. I would like to tell you that I found, thanks to my daughter's recommendations, several programs that I really enjoyed. One of them was, and these are on Netflix, because we don't have network TV or anything like that here. We just have Apple TV and Netflix. We did have Hulu, but we realized we really weren't watching anything on Hulu that we couldn't do without, that we enjoy our Netflix subscription. And I watch a lot of YouTube, so that doesn't require, you know, that we pay $100 for cable TV. So there's another kind of thrifty thing that I've been trying to do. But anyway, programs on Netflix. VOA, and the letter O and the letter A. That's a really good program if you enjoy kind of fantasy. Not wacko, well, I don't know. But it's kind of a mystery too. It's very interesting. My daughter convinced me to watch a French police drama, not so much a thriller as kind of you're not quite sure what's going on. And it was in French, which I took in high school, so I'm an expert, right? Everybody remembers their language they took in high school. Yeah, because high school was just 20 years ago. Never mind. But anyway, the name of that was The Break. That was great. And in both of those, you have the series of programs, and then at the end, you can see that there's room that it could go forward, but it kind of completes this storyline. There, especially in the OA, you feel like, wait a minute, you left a lot of questions unanswered, but you get a feeling of closure. The other program I was going to recommend is The Travelers. I think that was an American network program, but that left, I fussed at my daughter. She didn't tell me it left me on a cliffhanger in the last program. I think everybody was not shooting, but pointing a gun at everybody else in the shows. But that was really good as well. I enjoyed watching that. So I highly recommend the OA, The Break, and that's the French one. But it was so good, so good, so good. And The Travelers. I think, yeah, I'm checking my list. I'm still using my Traveler's Notebook. I have gotten a moleskin. This is, you can tell this is a bigger journal, a bigger book than like the normal inserts that I get, which is this. And this is for my camping stuff that I just don't have any camping stuff yet. We won't have a trip until sometime in March. But at any rate, I have done all of January, and I did everything in one place. For example, let me find an example. Surely there's an example in here somewhere. This is the page that I had my 3-day weekend, kind of the highlights. This was my to-do list for those days, my bullet journal to-do list. And then I just have pages of journaling. And then I have more journaling. Then I have another page of the hit the high spots kind of thing. And then another bullet journal list. And so it's all just together. It is making me very, very happy. And I have made it to February and just started the same thing over. And it is making me happy to have this with me at all times. So I will put the still photographs at the end. I'm not sure which way I don't know which way's up, much less which way's the end. I hope to come back and talk to you very soon. I have thought about just filming kind of while I craft, just sitting here with my knitting or crochet in my lap and just telling you things that are on my mind and seeing how that goes. But sometimes I just don't feel like I have anything to say, and then sometimes I think everything I have to say is kind of not worth sharing, so I have to be careful. At any rate, I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're enjoying your February, planning for a sweet Valentine's. With us on a no-spend February, I guess we're back to crayons and notebook paper to make our Valentine's. I'm not sure what we'll do. At any rate, I touched the screen and it went kahooey on me. But until I see you again, you know I wish you lots and lots of love and laughter. Okay, so here are some still photos of my things in process. This is my 10-stitch Tunisian blanket. It's not much of a blanket. That's a pillowcase behind it. But I find myself wanting to work on this so badly. But I don't have a deadline on this where I feel I do have a deadline. Even if it's self-imposed, if I let myself work on this as much as I want to, then the sweater won't get done, and then it'll just get put back, and I won't work on it for a couple more years. And, so the deadlines are for my own good, but I do love working on this project, the 10-stitch Tunisian crochet blanket. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I love it. And here's my sweater in the wild. It's nowhere near as huge as it feels like it is when I'm holding it. I mean, I've worked on it for so long, surely it should be gargantuan. This is when I very first got those sleeve stitches on the needle there. And this is the ribbing along the bottom. That yarn is just gorgeous. It feels wonderful, even if it is wool. It is Malabrigo, and I love it. And you can see there are nowhere near as many boo-boos on this section of the sweater as there are. The top is complete boo-boo land, but it's a learning process, and you improve. Practice does make perfect. This is my acrylic square afghan that I'm making. I'm using, I believe it's the Pretty Petals pattern by Melinda Miller. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I think it's a free pattern. And my husband's holding that up. I have 6 squares so far, and I just join the new square to the existing blanket as I go. And that really does make me happy because I know there's no seaming when I'm done. These are my socks, and so I'm down to the navy blue stripe in real life. I'm not sure if this picture is going to show that or not. I'm not sure how much gets cut off when I make the little video thing. And then this is how you can contact me, and I hope you will. Be sure you friend me on Ravelry and on Instagram as well. I'm gojenn, both places. So,
Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.